Hello all, welcome to Eyes on AI, and today we are going to see the basic data structures in Python and the Boolean operation in Python. So here is the list what we can see in this tutorial. So first of all, we can see about the Boolean, the logical operations with the Boolean list, comprehension operators, dictionary, tuples, and sites. So, but make sure first you can subscribe the channel and like this video to get the more content about the Python, machine learning, data science. Uh, right? So yes, first of all, we can see about the Boolean variables. What is the Boolean variables? I have written the definition and the basic knowledge about the Boolean here. Boolean values are the two constant object, the false and true, yes or no, we can say. They are used to represent truth values. Other values can also be considered false or true. In numeric contexts, for example, when used the argument to an arithmetic operator, they behave like the integers 0 and 1 respectively. So the built-in function boolean can be used to cast any value to boolean. If the value can be interpreted as a truth value, they are written as false and true respectively, right? So yes, we have by default two operators here. False means negative and true means positive. So we can print also this false and uh, positive values like this. Yes, so we have true and false, and we can see the type of that values true and false. We can see that it is a boolean type of a data, right? Here is a small example for the string as well. So there's two type of boolean functions we have, and one more example I want to add here. So if you want to create a bool function by your own, so you can just use this bool function. By default, you can create the boolean function by defining the bool here, and you can create your own boolean function as well. So here you have to just create your own boolean function. So x is a true, otherwise false. So if I can just write here, so yes, so that will be the boolean function here. So yes will be my true, and if we can check here, so yeah, yes will be the true and the no will be the false accordingly, right? So the first I have to give, it will be a true by default. If I can give anything here like yes, or we can say um, yep here for the fun, yeah, so it will be true by default, right? So we can create our own boolean function like this as well, right? Now we can see some by default functions for the string. So here I have taken an example like my str. We are creating a variable here for gmail123. This is the string, whole string, and this is the first by default function in the string is title. So which means what is the meaning of this is title. So any sentence, any string can be a title if the first word of that string will be the capital. So here we can see the gmail123 have a j have a capital, so it is showing us true. First of all, we have to just define this, and yes, yes, it is true here, right? So there are so many by default function here, so we can see that all functions, and there are so many functions actually you can see by uh, you have to just do my str and just dot and just press tab. You can see so many types of function here. Maybe this. Yes, you can see there are so many by default functions here. You can use each and every function, but don't worry, you don't have to remember each and every this function for your interview or for your knowledge as well. You can just do google it, and you will get the information about it. And the easy way is that by default, like suppose I am choosing this function and I want to know about this function more, I can just press shift tab and I can see the whole idea about this function. So here there is a definition, or we can say there is a conclusion about this function. What is the casefold? So casefold is written a version of string suitable or caseless comparisons. So yes, by default, Jupyter Notebook give us an idea. By pressing Shift plus Tab, we can check the definition or the work of that particular function, right? So there are some example for the function. So yes, so first example is all numbers are not. So by default, what this function is do, so it will check the string has numbers or not. So like if all characters in the string are numbers or not, it can check. If there is a numbers, it will provide us a true. If not, it will provide us false for sure. So the second, check if all character in the string are alphabetic or not. All are alphabet or not. We can see yes, not all are alphabets here. There's mixture of alphabets and numeric in this string. Is digit or not? Test if string constant digit or not. Yes, our particular string contains digits or not. Is title or not? We can see like there is a first word is a capital or not. If it is capital, it will be provided true, and if it is not, it will be provided as false. As super, test if string contains uppercase or not. There are any uppercases or not, like all string are in uppercase or not, it will be checked. Then another function is lower or not, like test if string contains lower cases or not. Then is space or not, there is any space in our string or not, it will be checked that. And these two functions are very important. We can use these two functions in our EDA part, in our machine learning part, various times. So my string is ends with k or not, so it will be checked my string is end with k or not. But here we can see my string is not end with k, and yes, it is case sensitive, so I have to provide the particular value. If it is in lowercase or uppercase, I have to provide that only, right? So it will check it is ends with k or not, or it is starts with k or not. But in this case, we can see there is no any k in our string, right? So see, it's so simple. There are so many functions, you can check it out by yourself, so you can get much exposure about the by default function for the string here. Now we can check the logical operators with the Boolean. So it will be provide us a result in a Boolean as well, and we can check here with the Boolean as well. So you know about the logical operators, right? There is a and, or, not, or. Not there are so many logical operators. We can we go through these logical operators in our school time as well. So here I have taken the two example for and true. So you can see true and true, it will be provided as true. True and false, it will be provided as false. True or false, it will be provided as true. True or true, it will be provided as true. So these are some basic logical operators here we can see. And here we have another string example, and we can check the another two important function here. So what is the our string example? Hello world is our string example, and another string is Jimmy, which is my name obviously. So we can, yeah, that's a mistake. Yes. So we can check here the logical operator with the string example as well. So what we have done here, we are using logical operator here, and we are using by default function for string as well, and we are comparing that. It is a true or false, which we whatever condition we are providing to the algorithm actually. So okay, so here we are going to check another built-in function, and we are comparing two built-in function and getting some values using our logical operation. So what we did here, we are checking there is a alphabet or there is a number in our uh, both strings. So we can check here like my str dot is alpha or not. So my str is contain alphabetic number or not. We are checking that. Or uh, str dot example, this string contains numbers or not. So what we are checking here, it will be provided as true if the one condition from both of them will be true. So we can see here there is a alphabets in our mystr variable. So in Gmail we have only alphabets, we have no any digits here, so it will be provided as true, right? Now, going further, we are discussing about the list here, which is a very important topic again for our machine learning, for our deep learning. We are going to use very widely this concept of list. So please understand this concept very curiously and explore the list function by yourself as well. I'm going to give you a basic knowledge about the list and whatever the important thing, whatever the important function we are going to use going further in a machine learning and deep learning. So what is the list? First of all, we can go through the definition and understand what is the list, how list is different from other data types like tuples, dictionary, set. We can understand that. So a list is a data structure in Python that is mutable or changeable. Mutable or changeable means we have a rights to change once we declare the list. So the simple example of that as well, I will provide you. So assume that we are making the list for 1 to 5 numbers. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 numbers in our list and we want to change that numbers inside that list. We are able to change it. We can add some elements into list as well. We can remove some elements from the list as well. So it means it's a mutable. It is a changeable ordered sequence of elements. So in a sequence of elements, whenever we have to add that particular variable or we want to remove that particular um, thing from our list, we can do it. Each element or value that is inside of a list is called item. So each and everything, so suppose we are providing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that 5 items in our list we can say. So each element is a item in the list, just as string are defined as characters between quotes. So if we want to describe the string into our list, we have to denote it by double inverted comma or single inverted comma. Lists are defined by having values between square brackets. So between square brackets, there are any elements, there are any items, it will be considered as a part of that particular list. So first of all, we can see as we can see here, we have a square brackets, and in so the square brackets by default it will be give us as a list type of element. And yes, suppose we have to create by default list which contains no any elements, we can consider, we can just define it by just give it a variable and it will be created like this. And you can see here the type of that particular lst example, it will be the list. There is another method as well for creating the list. We can just write list and we can just call the list function and we are able to create the list, and we can check that particular example as well with the type of that particular lst, it will be the list. So here we are declaring a list here, our first list we are going to declare here. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 elements, and you know that 6 elements means there are 6 items in the list, and we have 2 strings. So 2 item it is in the string format and 4 items it is in the integer format, right? So we are going to declare our list here, our first list, and yes, we can check what is the length of our list. It means how many items in our list. So we can see like there are 6 elements, there are 6 items in our list. And we are also going to check the type of that particular lst. Yes, it is a list. So now very important function and very first function we are going to see here of our list. So it is a append function. What is the append function? So append is used to add elements in the list, right? So we can add elements in our list by using just append function. So here I am going to add my name in this particular list. In this particular list I am going to add my name. So what am I doing here? lst dot append, and in bracket I am passing the string here, which is my name. So we can see that yes, and we can just see our list, updated list here. So if you can see here, yes, so it will be append my name in this particular list. So now we can check the length or we can say the items which is in our particular list? Yes, it is 7. So we have updated the list here by appending my name in this particular list. Now suppose we have to append two particular string into our list. So or I can say we have to create a list inside a list, which means nested list. So what we have to do, just lst.append, and we have to pass this two particular string in the list, and we can append it, and we can see here we have updated list where we have nested list. So there is a list here, and in this list we have a another list. So second list in this list. So we are doing to this things as well in our list, because list is mutable, it is changeable. So we can create like n number of list inside a list. So and we can understand this concept by indexing. So we are going to move on indexing as well. So suppose I want to extract the chemistry from my particular list. I want the want only chemistry from my list. I want to extract the chemistry from my list, right? So what we can do, we can just write lst, and in the square bracket we can write 1 here. So it will be give us a value of chemistry. Like we can able to see the uh, what is on my index 1. Now, first of all, okay, we can extract any number or any value, any item from our list by using indexing. But what is indexing, and how we can uh, how we can see like this value on this particular index, how we can understand the concept of index. So remember these things. Our first element of our list, our first item of our list will be the 0, right? So indexing will be start from the 0. The length of the list will be 6 or 7 or 8 or n, but our indexing value, the total indexing value is length minus 1. So whatever the length of our list, because length is starting from 1, so mathematics here for the length it will be 1, right? But in the case of indexing, this mathematics will be the 0. So if we can check here, what is the what item or what element on the 0th index. So we can see that here is a mathematics. Similarly, we have a we can just see here, like we have a the length of this list is 8, but when we are going to check so 8th, so what is on the 8th element? There is a John and Bala, because it's a nested list. So this whole list is considered as a 8th, right? So it a whole considered as a last element, right? So now suppose for example we are just going to find out that 8. So it will be give us an error for sure. What? The list index out of range. Because if we can calculate here by indexing, so mathematics on 0th element, chemistry is on the first element, 100 is on second, similarly 200 on third, 300 on fourth, 204 and fifth, Jamil is on sixth, and John and Bala is on, because it's a nested list, it is on seventh index. So we have nothing on eighth index, right? So if you can see here LST, what is in the seventh index, you can see, yeah, there is a John and Bala. Now you can just confuse about this. Now I want to just extract the Bala from these particular list. So what we can do here? Okay, so what we can do here, there is a seventh index. On seventh index we have another list. So again the same concept, I want to extract the Bala, means index 1 from this another list. So what we can do here, just write 1 here and you will get the Bala, right? So again, similarly, we can see we can also add dictionary, we can also add tuple, we can also add set inside our list. We can see that things as well going further, right? But this is the basic concept of indexing I'm going to show you. Right now, if you wonder, like, I want to extract not only one value, I want to extract two or three values, or I want to extract a particular range from that particular list. So what we can do here, we can again using a concept of indexing, we can see here. So here is a small example for that particular thing. So I want to extract from first element, which means chemistry, till sixth element. Element means what? Till Gmail. So here till Gmail. So Gmail will be not cover here. So this element means sixth element will be not cover here, right? So we are going till that particular element. So yes, we can run this and we can see, yes, there is a first index, second index, third index, fourth index, and fifth index. If I want to I want to see the only numbers, right? So this 100, 200, 300, 204. So we know 100 are starting from index number 2, and so 2 till what? Till this. So this value can be appear, but this value can be not appear in this particular list. So yes, Jamil is on the sixth index, so we are going to consider this only. And yes, we can see there is a numbers in the list, and we can extract only this integers from the list. Now another important function we are going to see here, which is the insert function. So how we can insert a particular element or a particular item on a particular index. So we can see here, like from append we are able to add the particular element in list, but by default append can only append means add the element in the end of that particular list. But I want to add that particular element on a first index or a second index or n index, right? So here we have a concept of insert. So suppose I have to add Joshi, which is a string. So element Joshi we have to add on particular index. So like on a second index I want to add that particular value. So second index means third item. So on a third iteration I want to add Joshi, right? So I'm going to add, and we can see here, like on a second index, so 0th, 1 and second. So on second index we have this particular string. Similarly on suppose fifth index I want to add. So similarly on fifth index I want to add some integers, so like 200 or 2000, right? So I am going to insert it here, and yes, we can see here on our fifth index, 0, 1, second, third, fourth and fifth index we have a 2000, right? So from concept of insert, from insert function we can add any element on any index, right? So we have seen this concept of append here, the same concept here, right? So from append, if we are going to add two elements like nested list, which we can see in our previous example as well. Okay, so yes, okay, yeah, again the append method example here, nothing else, nothing new. Okay, now from append method we have seen, like from append, if we are going to add this particular nested list, but I don't want to use this append method. It means I don't want to add any nested list, but I want to provide two or three or five value at one, and I have to add that value, particularly that item or that value, in the end of list, but separately in that particular list. Like I don't want to make a nested list, a list inside a list, but I want to add that particular integers or a string or whatever data structure I want to add in that particular list only. So for that reason we are using extend here. So from extend, if for a new example we are taking here, so there is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 here, and we are going to use extend here, and we want to add 8 and 9. So if we can use this extend method, we can see here in our list we are able to add 8 and 9 in the end of this particular list. So nested list will be not created here. If we can use append here, so it will be definitely creating a nested list instead of this continuous list, right? So now we are going to see various operation that we can perform in the list. So some basic operation. So suppose I want to add that this all elements, and we want sum of this all elements. So we can just simply use sum function, and in sum we can pass out our list. So it will be uh, do a summation of particular elements, each and every elements present in the list. Now I am using this multiplication function here. So lst multiply by 5. So what it will be do? It will be append that particular list 5 times in that particular list only. So suppose we have a 1 2 3 4 5 here, so it will be add 1 2 3 4 5 5 times. So we can see 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. So it will be made 5 times. So now we can see our so here we can see our length of this particular list, it is 5, right? But here we can check the length of list, it will be, after doing performing this particular example, we can save it, and we can see yes there is a 25, right? So this is some basic operations using list. Now we are going to see the pop method, which is also important method to removing the elements from our list. So by default pop, what pop is doing here. So by default, if we are using pop function without passing any values in our pop function, it will be delete the last value from our list. So for example, I have to print that particular list here first of all, and then I can show you how it is working. So yes, this is my list, the basic list, and I don't want this list. I want this list actually. Yes. So yes, we have this list here, and now I want to remove the last element from my list. I can just simply using lst.pop. It will be remove the fifth element. So like element number 5, it will be delete by default. So now we can check our list. We don't have any fifth element in our list, right? So it will be remove the fifth element, right? Now I want to delete it by indexing, like I want to remove just zeroth index, means 1. So 1 I have to remove. I can just pass out this indexing of that particular list, of that particular element, and it will be remove that particular element from the list. So it is working on indexing. So list is all about the indexing. If we want to change anything, or if we want to add anything on a particular index, we have to use indexing only. If we want to remove something from the list, we have to use that particular index of that particular element only, right? Now another most important function we are going to see here. So count, we can see like we can say it is only going to count how many elements in our list, or how many time it will be appear, right? So like the count function is the only function which is not we can access from the indexing, we can access it from the element. It means if you have a string inside your list and you want to access it by that particular string, name only. So for example, we are passing Gmail here, right? So I can take here another list, and yes, I will make a list for you here. Suppose we have Gmail here, and suppose we have Krunal here. Suppose we have Abhi here, correct? And we are making this list, and now I want to count how many times Gmail is appearing in this particular list, and I can add one more time Gmail in this particular list, and yes, I just want to count it. Yeah, time I have to this. Yes. Yes. So now I want to just count st.count and yes, yeah, st.count, and I want to count 0, right? So it will be give me an output 2. Why? Because Gmail is appearing in this list 2 times, right? Similarly, we are going to see how many times 1 is appearing in our list. So here we can see 2 times the 1 is presented in our list. Similarly, we can check for 3. So how many times 3 in our list? So it will be give us 1. Similarly, we can check here for Abhi, and yes. And remember, guys, it is a case sensitive. So yes, I have to access this first of all, and yes, we can see. So it is a case sensitive, right? So if I am doing capital here, it will be predict 0. Why? Because it is a case sensitive. It is a case sensitive function, right? Okay, so length, we all know what is the length function do. It will be just give us an output how many elements present in our list here. So we have 4 elements here, and it will be predict, yes, there is a 4 element in our list, right? So index, again, we are going to see index function. So yes, we are able to for an example, we have this list, and from indexing, then yeah. So if I am passing 1, I am able to see 1 is not in the list. So by default, what we are doing here, by default, from this particular method, if I am passing here 1, it will be give me an output on the index 1. We have this particular element, but I want to see these things not by the index value. I want to see that particular thing by its element name only, like
Element
example,
one.
I want to just pass here example. So on 0th index, I am able to see Gmail is here. So it will be giving me an output on depends of that particular element present in our list. Similarly, if I can access this, and here I am going to show you. So 2. So okay, the value 2 is on index number 2. So similarly, we can check here as well. Now, the another concept for this particular function I'm going to show you. So for the details, you can just press Shift tab, and you can see. Okay, so list dot index value, whatever value you want to find. Suppose I want to find 1 here, so I can pass in 1 and start it from 0. Means you can start it from 0th index. So how many times you are getting that particular element between the particular range. So if I want to find the one element 1 in my particular list between 0 to 5th range. So if for an example, 1 is appearing 2 times in our list on 0th index as well as 6th index, right? But I just want to know how many times 1 is appearing. So element 1 is in my list between 0 to 5th index range, right? So in first 6th element, only on first sixth element, on first, fifth, or five or sixth element, or n elements, how many times that particular value is appearing. In that case, we are using this index function generally, right? So I want to find 1, 0 till what index? Till fifth index I want to see. So okay, 0 times, so on 0th index it is present, right? So on 0th index it is present. Yeah, yes. Okay, so on 0th index it is present. So similarly we are going to see for second. So for second, yes, on second index we are able to see here, we are able to see, right? Similarly, if we can see for 0 1, so yes, 2 is not in the list. Because what, why it is showing this output? Because if you can see, this is the 0th index and this is first index. Between this index we do not have any 2 here, right? So that is why. And if I can change it to second index, right, so it will be shows 2 is not in the list, because here, till here we don't have any 2. Sorry for this, for till here we don't have any 2, right? If I can change 3, yes, it will be able to see, like on second index it is, right? So yes, so it is able to get an output, right? Similarly, we have a minimum and maximum function. If you want to find out what is the minimum value in our list and what is the maximum value in our list. So minimum value in our list is 1 and maximum value in our list is 2, right? So yes, we have seen so many things in this tutorial, like we have seen about the Boolean function, logical operations with using Boolean, right? We have seen about the list by default, so many function of list like append, indexing, extend, pop function, and advanced indexing function we have seen, right? So we have seen so many things in this particular tutorial. I'm just want to request you to go for further functions, like how many functions and how these functions are working. I know, like, without practicing you are not able to understand particular things, so I'm requesting you to go and practice for all these functions, and you can do all these operations by yourself. The GitHub link for this particular Jupyter notebook is in the description, so go and um, perform various type of examples by yourself, by taking your name and by taking your particular list here, and you are good to go with another things in this particular list as well. We have so many functions. We can see other functions for the list in our exploratory data analysis tutorials and pandas and numpy tutorials as well, because in numpy also we are working with array. Actually array is same as a list, but it is taking a less space or less memory than list. So both are mutable, and the functionality of both are similar, right? So we can see further about the list in our numpy videos as well. But till then, just keep exploring, keep learning, and enjoy the process, and make sure you subscribe the channel and like this video. And go in the description box, go on this GitHub link. You can just download this Jupyter notebook to your own system and practice it out on the same, right? Yeah, so bye. We'll meet on next tutorial, and in next tutorial we can see about the sets, dictionary, and so many things. By default function, dictionary as well, how we can access dictionary, how we can access particular key and value in the dictionary, nested dictionary, and so many things we are going to discuss in our next video. So till then, just practice on this list, because the list is a very important topic for our exploratory data analysis process, right? And statistical analysis as well. So if you want to get insights from our table, so we are using list for sure. So okay, yeah, goodbye. We'll meet on next video.